I'd like to take just a few moments and explain what is happening inside the brain when you use pornography, because I feel this is so important to help us take this paradigm shift from thinking this is a harmless thing that's kind of unpleasant and we don't want to talk about it, to recognizing this is a nasty, dirty, great snake that we need to get out of our houses. So how do you become addicted to pornography? That always really confused me. Like, how can you become addicted to just watching something? I watch, cooking shows and I'm not addicted. Well, I might be, actually. How can you get addicted to something that you don't inject, you don't ingest, you don't smoke? Well, pornography addiction is a process addiction, just like gambling, where the chemicals that give you that high are actually produced in the brain. But that still didn't fully explain it for me, because I'm like, well, why does your brain release happy chemicals when you're watching something so disturbing? Like, is that not confusing? It's like, I don't understand that. Then I read about the reward center of the brain. So we have this thing in our brains, the reward center, that operates a little bit like that jar that you use with your children when you want them to stop killing each other. Okay? Don't hit your brother, you can have a token. Get enough tokens, we'll go and have ice cream. Okay? The brain works in a very similar way. When it wants you to repeat a behavior because it biologically helps you survive, things like eating calories and reproducing, it's going to biologically reward you. You get a hit of those chemicals. And the brain does not differentiate between having sex and watching other people have sex, or whatever it is that they're doing. But the thing with pornography, how it is different to actually having sex, is that normally there's an off switch. Like, eventually you come out of the bedroom and you come out of the dining room and you get back on with life. But with pornography, there is no off switch at all. You can literally binge for days. All you need to keep another squirt of those happy chemicals coming is to click on something new, something novel, something more shocking, something more taboo. You can literally binge for days. But the brain has a beautiful design, and God put in lots of safety mechanisms to keep us at an equilibrium, because we're not designed to watch pornography. We're not designed to have days worth of happy chemicals squirting in our brain. We're not designed. So it has these safety mechanisms. And in the same way that your kids go, "Ooh," every time a fire truck screams past, that's what happens with our receptors, our dopamine receptors in our brain. So that the drug that's being squirted is no longer quite so effective. And also, when there is enough usage of pornography, the brain actually produces another chemical that's like a brake. And it says, okay, you keep doing this behavior, you're not listening, I'm trying to make it less effective, but you're still not listening, I'm going to apply this brake. And it lowers your baseline of happiness so that everything feels dull, everything feels miserable. And this is why guys appear angry and critical and resentful, because now they need their drug to actually feel normal. But the drug that they're using is losing its effectiveness, so they have to do more of the drug. And you can see how guys get in, and girls, over their heads and start going and clicking on stuff that disgusts them, stuff that's dangerous. So the big question is, why don't you just stop then? Like, this is threatening your relationship. You might lose your job. You might crash your car. Why don't you just stop? Well, there's a condition called hypofrontality, and you get this two ways. One is in a head-on collision, and the other is from heavy porn use. And basically, it means you can't think straight. It's an impairment of the functioning of the prefrontal cortex, which is your decision-making part of the brain. It's what helps you make rational, logical decisions and weigh up consequences. Your grey matter is being shrunk, and your brain is no longer able to think straight. So even though you know this is a bad idea, there's a part of your brain that's going, nah, it'll be fine. And you just override your desire to not do it and just go, just one last time. And this is why when we say to our guys, if you love me, you'll stop, and they don't, and it rips us up, we need to change our thinking.